Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Guys, I have two friends. They are one of my best friends here in Canada. Tatanungin natin sila kung paano sila nakarating sa Canada at anong hinanda nila. Una, ang tatanungin ko si Jen. Just call her Jen and Mirasol.
Hello.
Alright, so ang unang magsalita si Jen. Jen, paano ka nakarating sa Canada? Anong ginawa mo? Anong steps ng ginawa mo from Pinas hanggang anong route, anong journey mo from Pinas to Canada? So we'll focus to Jen first.
Okay. So, ang entry ko dito is immigrant. So, we work in Oman in 2000, for around 9 years. And then we apply as an immigrant. So, entry is immigrant, skilled worker.
So with your family, right?
Yeah, with my family.
So ilang years ka or ilang months ang process from Oman to Canada?
Madali lang siya kasi I remember we started around 2011 and then we came here. We got the visa in 2012.
At
So around 11 years.
Okay. At magkano ang nagastos mo? Around, approximate, just approximate.
Yeah, at that time, the three of us for an immigrant, we pay the whole amount, 110,000.
US dollar,
No, Philippine money.
Philippine money.
Yeah.
So, ano ang mga experiences mo from process, yung sa Oman ka pa, yung pag-process mo, mahirap ba? Ano bang mga hinanda mo? At least, ma-share mo sa mga viewers.
So I don't really think that we have that big problem in terms of processing my papers because we have an agency. So what the agency has asked us to provide, that's we provided. The only thing that I find it difficult because I work in the Middle East, so it's hard to find. And by that time, Canadian Embassy doesn't accept the NBI, which is approved from the Oman Embassy. So I have to find somebody to work my NBI back in the Philippines.
Okay. Sa Oman, hindi ba mahirap mag-process ng papers aside na tinulungan ka ng agency like sa pag-follow up, lahat-lahat?
No, because our agency, we can call our agency is the main office based in Mississauga actually, but they have the office back in in Oman, in Muscat. So we communicate through phone. But the only thing that I find it difficult is to gather the yung NBI, which I have to get it from Philippines.
So, isa sa mga requirements talaga, kailangan may NBI clearance.
Yes, NBI clearance.
Then, of course, the passport, Philippine passport. Then,
so what they because I landed as a skilled worker immigrant, they asked me all my papers, which fortunately because I was working in the Middle East, I have all the papers, red ribbon from the DFA already. So what I said, I recommend to everybody, if you have red ribbon documents, your transcript, everything, license, keep it, and only give the photocopy.
okay.
Because that's what, even now, if I applied anywhere else, I still use that because they always ask your credentials.
Okay.
So don't give your original copy.
So, maraming mga viewers for sure na magtatanong kung ano ang profession mo sa Philippines at saka sa Oman at pagpunta mo dito sa Canada. So, anong ginamit mo na parang pathways, kung ginamit mo ba talaga ang profession mo or iba ba ang trabaho mo compare sa kung ano ang course mo, kailangan ba talaga?
So in my case, I am registered nurse back in the Philippines. I work only in Philippines for 2 years. I work in Saudi and in Oman, and I applied here as a under-skilled worker. So may ano siya, may tawag nito, point system. So nakatulong yung point system, like my current job, which is under the skilled worker at the NOC, which is under, and then also my husband was also a nurse. So nag-ano siya, tawag nito, ang points tumaas. So if you want to apply as a skilled workers, there's a points.
So, isa siya sa mga requirements, yung length of experience.
Length of experience, it doesn't really matter, like as long as you have a 1 year, 2 years experience, that's enough. Even now, they ask you just 1 year experience, and that's fine, because they only like 400 hours here. They ask you have like 400 hours. And another thing is your current license. But if you apply here in Canada, it doesn't matter, because even if you're new graduate back in the Philippines, you can apply here and take the exam. Because you still have to take the exam when you come here.
Kailan i-challenge, right?
Yeah.
Pero yung pathway mo, yung course mo talaga ang ginamit mo, yun ang...
Yung profession ko
yung profession mo. So, balikan kita dyan. Ngayon, pupunta tayo kay Marisol. Okay. How about you, Sol? From Pinas, ano ang pathway mo na naka-enter ng Canada? Anong ginamit mo?
Okay, I'm in a caregiver program. So,
From
sa Pilipinas, midwife ako, sa Pilipinas registered. But I didn't have my items there where it's so hard because I'm not politically connected. So I decided to apply to the Middle East, which is in Ras Al Khaimah, United Arab Emirates, because it's too expensive to go straight from Philippines to Canada. So I worked in Ras Al Khaimah for 4 years, taking care of 5 kids. And from then, I apply from Ras Al Khaimah. I apply an agency in Dubai to come to Canada as a caregiver. So I have an agency there too.
So you paid?
I paid $4,500 to agency.
Alright. Ngayon, ang tanong, ano ang impressions ninyo nung pumasok na kayo sa Canada?
If you compare sa doon at Canada is very free. It's a good life in here. Opportunities are bountiful, as you say. But in the Middle East, I'm working there from 6 o'clock in the morning all the way to 11 o'clock in the night without a day off. So compared here, it feels like it's heaven here.
Okay, balikan kita, Sol, ha? Ngayon, tanong ko si Jen, ano ang impression mo nung pumasok ka sa Canada?
The first impression when I came in Canada, by the way, we came here not just because we have a good benefits back in Oman. Our house accommodation is free. If we go home, we have a free allowance, free tickets back and forth back to where we are, and like we have some allowances, and we have a pretty good life in the Middle East, I should say. However, the reason why we came here is for the future, because once you're in the Middle East, everybody I think knows that you won't be able to stay there as long as you want to, and your job is not a guarantee, because they have this what you call the humanization, or it's government plan that everybody would be their nationality has to work. So we came here for 3 reasons: for our future, Nigel's education, and the Sabbath. And then when I came here, it's a shock. So there's a culture shock. We came here as a profession, because that's what is our entry, right? And then no thinking that we can find a job. But then we landed in Toronto we couldn't find a job. People were asking us Canadian education or Canadian experience, which both we don't have. So we landed in a factory, my husband and myself, which is a very heavy workload, like physically, mentally, and physically, which I cried every time. Like I was this feeling that why I came here. You know what I mean? Like first time for me to carry all these boxes where I work in the factory, which I didn't do that even in the Philippines. So there was a shock because of that. I think the people should know landing as an immigrant, it's not easy
In reality.
because you don't have find job. I always tell people who came like yeah, Mirasol, she said it was heaven, but for me it wasn't a heaven.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, because you can find job, and then by the time when I came here, the registration to nursing is very tough. Yeah, you have to work really to go into the system. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that I know who are registered nurse in the Philippines or even work abroad in other country in the Middle East. When they come here, they just give up their nursing career because it's tough. Where you want to find money or to study, and if you can't balance that too, you ended up like having find money, because if you don't work in Canada, you don't have to eat. you can't, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things you have to pay. Okay, so we find a job. I think it's easy to find a job, but that's a way from what your profession is. So we ended up in a labor sector, which is a heavy labor, and I find out that when we were working there are some other professionals, engineers, doctors, not only nurses, because I'm a nurse, right? But at the beginning, yeah, I was so depressed. I was my what you call that, my self-esteem really down because I can't work in my profession. But then when I was in the factory, I find out that there's some engineers, doctors, very well off people in the Philippines. They came here as an immigrant and landed at the same with me. So it's like, oh, thank God, because I know it's not my only journey, right? So yeah, but getting back to my profession, I didn't get it until 2019, as a registered nurse. We came in 2012. I got my license because somebody had told me to apply as a registered practical nurse, which is good because when I sent a letter to CNO, they responded right away in December that I can take the exam as an RPN, which is 2 years lower than the registered nurse and the salary. So I applied that. I got my license in. So I took my RPN exam in 2013. I passed, but then I have to work out with my English, and then so when I got my English, but it's already around October. So what I did is somebody told me don't register right
Anong
away.
year yan, Jen?
2013.
Okay.
And then somebody told me don't register right away because if you registered October and then you have to pay another one for 2014 because the registration here is every year, the license. So I just waited 2014.
So you came here as a landed immigrant and you paid to the agency and you processed lots of processing and so many stuff, right?
Yeah.
You did so many stuff together with your family, and you came here. You thought that you can work right away, based in your profession. Pero sad to say na mini-workout mo pa rin.
Yeah.
So ang mga viewers at least alam nila na kung pupunta ka pala dito as landed immigrant, don't expect
No.
na yung
No.
profession mo sa Pilipinas, yun ang agad mo mahanap.
No.
Okay.
No. So that's why like now some of my friends were asking how, because some of my friends in the Middle East, they want to come here, and I always said, work out your papers first, take an NCLEX, work with the NAS, which is the processing body in whole Canada, and then choose which province do you want to. Before you come here, if everything is okay, then you can work right away. Because now, you're dealing with different things in registration. You have to have your safe practice, which is only 3 years. So when you come here with all that papers and you don't have anything, and then past 3 years you didn't get the as registered nurse, then you have to go back to refresher to school, because your safe practice is so much better if you come here. If you have planned to come here, those go to NAS, NNES, registered, do all your papers while you're in the Philippines. At least somebody is working with your papers, right? You can pass everything. And then prepare your NCLEX. It's either you take it before you come here, or you can take it from here. But make sure that you pass it. So in my opinion, take your NCLEX before you come here. So at least you already have it. NCLEX is NCLEX, it doesn't expire. And then province, because NAS is not enough. You have to tell that you go to which province in Canada. Or there's another option which is easy, and it's the New York registration for NCLEX. They respond right away. So take NCLEX, because in NCLEX it's you can once you have an NCLEX or a passer of NCLEX, you can use it in Canada. It's a transferable.
That's a very good point, no? Ngayon, balikan kita dyan, ha? In few minutes. Ngayon, dito tayo kay Mirasol. Ngayon, Sol, nung nakapasok ka na sa Canada, ano ang impressions mo? Aside sa na-share mo, parang at least yung viewers, alam nila na pumasok ka dito as caregiver, yung buhay mo, sabi mo, is heaven. But ano ba talaga ang ginawa mo nung pumunta ka dito? Siyempre, nag-caregiver ka, no? Nag-stay ka sa employer. And then, ano ba talaga? Siyempre, sabi mo, mahirap doon. Dito medyo okay siya. Then, ano ang sinabi mo yung kaibahan, right? Then, anong ma-advise mo sa mga viewers na gusto rin pumasok sa pathway na tinahak mo na as caregiver? Ano ang dapat nilang gawin? Anong dapat nila i-prepare?
As Jen said, prepare all your credentials back in the Philippines with Red Ribbon. I had it done there too. And bring it with you. But for me, I go to an agency. It's because they process everything. I can only go out once in a while because I have permission from my employer. They're okay for me to come here. But I stayed with them for 4 years. With them.
Straight,
without coming back to the Philippines.
Yes.
So, and they even helped me for all my documents, like the police clearances, like the employer certificate. I'm lucky to have a good employer back in the Middle East.
Pero kung sa mga viewers na nasa Middle East, so talagang i-encourage ninyo na maggamit talaga ng agency
Agency for
para maka-assist sa kanila.